Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing my March monthly wrap-up. The sun's going down, so I need to do this kind of fast. We're just going to jump right into it. I wrote a total of 6 books this month. These are the books I actually picked during my TBR prompt jar, Picks My March TBR, and I ended up reading 3 out of the 5. I am reading Flawless currently. I don't think I'm going to finish it before the end of March, so I'm not including it in this video, but that means I almost read 4 out of 5 books that I chose this month, which I feel like is pretty good. That might be the best I've ever done for a chosen TBR, but we're just gonna get right into it. The first book I finished this month was Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This book has been circulating the internet, TikTok, BookTube, all the places for so long, and everyone swears by this book. I finally took the time to pick it up. I actually ended up doing this book on audiobook. If you're someone that has a hard time reading nonfiction or just general fiction, definitely do this one on audiobook. I feel like for me, if I decided to read it instead, I would not have enjoyed it. This is about Dolly. She kind of writes about her life in her 20s and things she went through and all of the important lessons she learned that she is going to take for the rest of her life. As this is a sort of memoir nonfiction, I'm not going to rate it just because it feels very wrong to rate someone's personal experiences, but I did thoroughly enjoy this. I felt like at the beginning I kind of was confused as to where the hype was about. I know that's a little controversial. Once I got about halfway through and I started to really connect to Dolly and her experiences and to all of the things she was learning throughout her 20s, because I am just at the beginning of my 20s, I feel like this really just spoke to me. I think any woman specifically should read this if you're around 20, 19, or even up to the end of your 20s. I think this is a really good book to pick up. Next we have I did finish Throne of Glass this month. This book tore me apart from the inside out. I actually filmed a reading vlog for this and a couple of the other books that I read in March. I lost the footage, or I didn't lose it, but I could not get the footage from my camera to my computer. I don't know what was going on. If I end up ever getting that footage onto my computer, I will edit it and post it for you guys because I do read this and that, and I know you guys would probably love to see me finish this book. We all know what rating I'm gonna give it. This was a 5-star. Everything about this book was literally perfect. If you haven't read Throne of Glass, obviously this review is gonna be spoiler free, but pick it up if you haven't read it. I kind of describe this to people who are reading Throne of Glass or about to read Throne of Glass, that if you are a Marvel fan and have watched all the Marvel movies, this is the exact equivalent to what Endgame is to the Marvel franchise. Like, Sarah J Maas pulls out all the stops. The feeling, I'm not kidding, I got literal chills while reading this book. The feeling that you got reading this book is equivalent to the feeling you get watching Endgame for the first time. Does that make sense to anyone else? Well, if you're not a Marvel fan, you won't understand that analogy, so just ignore me. I kind of wish I tabbed this just because I want to go back and read the parts that I really loved. I can't really say much else about this or what it's about just because this is the last book in the series. This book was a 5-star and probably my favorite book in the entire series. So after reading Kingdom of Ash, I needed something to cleanse my palate and make sure that I didn't get into a book slump. So I went ahead and picked up 5 Survived by Holly Jackson. This book is literally the perfect book for that specific reason. Like finishing a long series or a book that like took a toll on you. This book is perfect because it is so fast-paced. I had a little bit of a hard time getting to it at the beginning just because I don't necessarily have a lot of time to sit down and read these days. But once I did have the time to sit down and read, I finished this in one sitting. I'm not kidding. One sitting I finished this book. It definitely lived up to its expectations. I ended up giving this a 4-star because it did exactly what I needed it to. Got me out of a book slump after reading Kingdom of Ash. It was the perfect YA thriller. This is about this group of friends. They rent or they take an RV to go somewhere for spring break, and the RV breaks down. It's kind of not an accident that the RV breaks down. To see if all 5 of them are going to survive the night stuck in this RV. There's betrayal, there's twists and turns, and a lot of people's personal life gets pulled into this mystery. Definitely pick this up if you need an easy mystery thriller. Then I ended up reading My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say her last name. This book has been on my physical TBR for probably over a year now, probably almost 2 years, and I never wanted to pick it up. I saw it once and I thought it looked cool, and then I never wanted to pick it up since. But I finally forced myself to pick this up. I ended up giving this a 3 stars. I did do this one on audiobook as well. I feel like I would have rated this probably below a 2 stars if I didn't do this on audiobook, just because this is not my type of read. But because I did this on audiobook, it felt like I was kind of listening to a podcast. It's about this girl who obviously has a lot of mental health issues, and she essentially takes a lot of medications to try and sleep for a whole year. She definitely is a very dislikable character. Just seeing life through her eyes was definitely a little bit morbid, a little bit sad, kind of depressing at times, so definitely look up kind of trigger warnings for this book. It definitely kind of puts you in an odd mood just because her look on life is so cynical and so sad. Once I got into the middle of it, I kind of did enjoy listening to what her inner monologue was. If you're gonna pick this up, I definitely suggest, at least if you have a reading taste more like mine, I definitely suggest doing this as an audiobook. Then I picked up Never Lie by Freida McFadden. I read The Housemaid by her a really long time ago, and I ate it up so quick, but I don't know why I never picked up anything by her after that. After I read Five Survive, it really put me in a thriller mystery mood, so I picked this one up at Barnes & Noble the day after I finished Five Survive, and this one I also read in one sitting. This is about these two newlyweds, and they are moving into this house, or want to move into this house, and they find this room with some old tape recordings, and they find out it's of the patients of this famous therapist psychiatrist that disappeared a long time ago. And of course they end up listening to the tapes, and the tapes go all the way up to the day that she disappeared. Freida McFadden, her writing is absolutely perfect. I think she's my favorite thriller mystery author. It grips you from the beginning and you never guess the plot twist. I did not guess the plot twist with this. I thought I had one in mind. I thought I was right. I really did. I was so convinced that I had it figured out, and I was definitely not right. And the plot twist got me so good, which is exactly what you want in a mystery thriller. Never Lie ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I love this book and I would recommend it to anyone who loves mystery thrillers. Then last but not least, I ended up reading That's Not My Name by Megan Lawley. I think that's how you say your last name. This is her debut YA mystery thriller, and I ended up giving this one a 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was so good for being her debut novel, and I actually really love this because she is from the Pacific Northwest, and that's where I'm from, so it's really fun to read kind of local authors. I actually ended up meeting her when I got this book, and she got to sign it, so that's super fun. It's about this girl who wakes up in the woods and the police find her and she can't remember anything. My camera died, so we're back. And we have kind of two different plot lines going on, and you think you have the plot twist or kind of what is happening figured out. I certainly did. From the beginning it seems kind of obvious, like, okay, obviously this is that and that is this. You kind of think you got it all figured out, but trust me, at the end, you definitely don't. I'm kind of surprised it is YA. It did have a couple swear words in it. I would really recommend this. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really impressed with this being her debut novel. Go check her out. Definitely give this one a read. So these are the 6 books I ended up reading in March. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'm going to be picking my April TBR very soon, so stay tuned for that video coming out. I hope you guys are having a good day wherever and whenever you are watching this, and I will see you in my next video.